Good morning, day 6. Here I am. I'm going back through Genesis to sort of fill in a gap because early last year I did not start talking about the Bible until like in my week 2. So I'm going back and kind of redoing that because I had no idea. I was just doing this as a fun thing for me. Who knew? Even though I was putting together Rise and Shine Together in the title, maybe I had little faith or belief that people would actually join me on this and want to even go back through it. And so here I am trying to organize a whole year through the Bible. And it's an amazing, like, to read Genesis with fresh eyes again after reading the whole Bible and Revelation. So today I read Genesis chapters 21 through 25. And Genesis, that's a lot to cover, like 5 chapters in one discussion and pull out some things. But today is titled Man on a Mission. And I started talking a little bit about it the last couple of days. Like, as I read this through my eyes, I'm picking up a bit of stoicism in Abraham. And yeah, I think I really am. And because we don't get a lot of insights into his emotions. So that might be why, but he's very focused. He's driven. He's on a mission. He's unwavering. Now, it's a mission from God, and God has given him promises. And in these chapters, we get the story of that almost everybody worldwide, Christian or not, probably has heard about some version. And it's he's told to take his son Isaac and sacrifice him. I mean, the son that he's been waiting for, the impossible birth, the impossible child. And then God gives him this command to go sacrifice him. And we don't get any insight into Abraham's feelings about it, other than God acknowledging the son you love very much. I'm asking you to do this. The son that your one and only son, I'm asking you to do this. And Abraham just says, okay. And he gets his servants ready. He gets the wood ready. He gets his son ready. They're going. So this is it. Parallel stories. We're continuing this. It's the foreshadowing of Jesus on the cross. And he has Isaac's carrying the wood on his shoulders. He builds an altar where he lays Isaac down on the wood versus, we have the Christ standing upright and hanging on a cross. So instead, we've got him laying down on the wood. And at the last minute, the very famous, like, Abraham, stop. I was just testing you. Don't hurt this child. I just needed to know that you were how faithful you were and your obedience, and you're going to be rewarded. And he says, I have provided a ram for you. And he looks, and there is a ram, again, instead of the sheep or the lamb. So he tells his son Isaac on the way up, because Isaac says, what's up, Dad? Like, something's missing here. We're going to make a sacrifice, but we don't have a sacrifice. And Abraham says to Isaac on the way up, don't worry, God will provide a sheep. He used the word sheep twice. So Jesus, of course, is often referred to as the sacrificial lamb. Here we have a ram, an adult male, that is the sacrifice. And he's caught in a thicket of thorns. So versus the lamb wearing a crown of thorns, Jesus, as the sacrificial lamb. So a lot of parallels, but again, it's man's version versus man being on a mission versus God being on a mission. So yesterday I started laying that foundation of man versus God, man in new old way versus new way. And when Jesus comes and shows how things are going to be done, we have man's way, man on a mission. And this isn't the only so even going back a few chapters, when God gives Abraham the command to leave home, he does it. He just like, you are to leave your home. You are going to become a nation. You're going to have descendants. And so that is just his sole mission. So after this whole experience with Isaac and they come back down, the next story that we're told is that Sarah dies. And he's, of course, sad, and he wants to bury her properly. So he goes into, and we're reminded that he is still a foreigner living in a foreign land. But he's living peacefully. They respect him. That's all good. But he needs a piece of land and a cave. That's another parallel. He wants to bury Sarah in a cave. Jesus gets buried in a cave in a tomb. So but he doesn't have the proper burial. So he wants to buy a piece of land with a cave on it. They want to give it to him. And he says, nope, that's not going to do. Like, I want to pay you for it. And they were like, no, we insist. And he's like, no, I insist. And so he pays them, the transaction's done, it's recorded, and, all the legal things. So again, reinforcing, I am my own man. I am going to become a nation. I'm not compromising anywhere about that. I'm not going to do anything that would give a signal that I am a part of your nation. I'm not going to take a gift from you. Like you guys, but yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Mission. And kind of stoic. So we have that whole story. And then the next exit scene one, we're going through it like a play, and on his deathbed, or as he's getting close to death, he and Isaac is old enough, he needs a wife. Abraham sends his servant. He's like, he is not allowed to marry one of these women around here. Nope, not having it. We need to go and get a woman from my homeland, our homeland, his homeland. And the servant is, of course, being very logical. But what if even if I find the right woman, will she come? Like, maybe we should let Isaac go and, live there. Again, very like on a mission. No, uncompromising. No. This is how it's going to be. And God will provide. It will work out. Just trust me. And he makes him promise, which this is very strange, even reading it again, putting his hand under Abraham's thigh. He goes, you must promise me by putting your hand under my thigh. So I might have to do a little research on that. Like, that seems a little weird, but maybe it was what they did back then. Obviously it was, but I don't know the significance of that, but it's curious. So anyway, and he does, the servant goes, he finds Rebecca, brings her back home. I'm not going to go into all of that story. Y'all can read it for yourself, because I've probably chatted long enough about it. But being a man on a mission versus later, we're going to get God. This is just a shadow, a foretelling of what you think a man on a mission can do big things with God. Imagine what God can do on a mission with a man. And when we kind of get it a little, even though Abraham is very obedient, very trustful, very fearful in a respectful way, it's not quite the same thing. It's not quite the intensity. There's still that sense of Abraham, being, is sort of being like Abraham's mission versus just God's mission. But after he does, get relieved of having to do the sacrifice of Isaac, he does repeat the promise to him again, fourth time, and this time he combines all the promises. I'm going to give you a nation. You're going to, everybody will know you through me. Everybody will, yes. And, talks about the stars again and the grains of sand. This is how many your descendants will be. It will be even more than this. So he goes back and reconfirms the promise, and then sums up all the first three promises into a fourth promise, again confirming it. So, man, I can tell you, like, being on a mission, even doing this, like, I thought I was done. And no, God's like, nope, you're not done yet. I'm a woman, humans on mission. I feel like I've been given a mission or an assignment to do, and I'm showing up and getting it done. When you have that type of mentality, there's, you're kind of unstoppable. Even when things come in, your own energy level, the temptations, other people's ideas of logic. And you're like, I know it seems weird, but nope. I hear what you're saying, but I gotta get this done. So I can kind of identify with Abraham here. And I'm just appreciating seeing it and the parallels of what's to come, and trying to keep in mind that it's really not my mission. It's a higher one, being our higher selves, what God is calling us to. And when we even hold it loosely, and trust even when it doesn't make sense. Like, you can just imagine Abraham was like, what? But you told me, and now but being willing to let go, hold it loosely, and trust like that. Just the unfailing trust that even when it doesn't make sense, just keep going and trust that still small voice that's God within. And you'll know it, because it will be counterintuitive to your own logic. Like, you're like, this can't be me. It has to be God. So that's one way you can kind of check it. Anyway, I hope you are having a happy new year. It is beautiful, blue skies after we've had a pretty gloomy week here. So it's nice to have the sun out and the fresh, crisp, cool air. So have a great day. Genesis chapters 21 through 25. Man on a mission. See you later.